Hi there, my name is Cameron. Welcome to another AppWord developer tutorial. I'm an app developer here at AppWord, and today I'm going to be talking to you about an object called ScreenProgress. Now, ScreenProgress is a object that is a few different connected elements, usually some like a single word or a stage or a step of some sort of progress, and usually defines a sequence of events that are going to be taking place. We'll get into a couple of examples of how it all works and how to set it up, but essentially it provides us a lot of good ability to do things when we click on these different progress items. So join me on my desktop and I'll kind of show you. We'll walk through a couple of examples. So over here, I'm going to just open up Work Order Director, one of our apps here. One example of how ScreenProgress is used is in selecting the stages of this work order progress. So it's in draft, and if I click to a different stage, that all updates just like that. I could jump around, I could go back. Yeah, so it's a nice way to change things externally just by clicking on a couple of buttons. Another place that we use the ScreenProgress is on add screens. So in here, if I wanted to add a new work order, you can see this. It looks a little different than the other one, but this is also a ScreenProgress. This just has two stages to it, and this showcases one of the neat features. You can actually disable one of the select elements, and I can't even click on it. I can't do anything. But if I do other things, I can program this to activate. That way I can click over to it and add some more information. Often these ScreenProgress items are used in conjunction with buttons, previous or next, to kind of get a nice little workflow going for just a nice contained in one screen. I'll explain the magic of how this works in just a sec. I'll show you. If I open up my object editor, we can see I've got this demo app here. Doesn't look like much, but I will show you what I have set up. So we just have our main screen. You can see there's a couple of just captions and then labels, which are blank right now beneath each of these captions. There's also three variables: title, year, is liked. So these are just things about a movie that I might want to add if I'm going to be adding a movie to a database. So right now, these variables are hooked up to these labels. So label title has the value var title, and so on and so forth. So as this variable changes, you'll just see it down here. This is just a nice way I can kind of show you what's happening in the background. On screen 1, screen 2, and screen 3, these are screen normals. And screen normals are used in conjunction with a screen form in order to display whatever, to swap out screens on a pop-up. We don't have a form yet, but we'll make one. Inside each of these screens, which aren't showing right now, there's a couple text boxes, a checkbox, and we'll reveal those as we plug in these screens. So on our main screen here, pop main, I'm going to go into the screen design, and we can minimize our object editor for now. And what we'll do is we'll first start by adding in a form. If you don't know about forms yet, watch our video on that. And yeah, so you just put a form in here and our screens are going to go right in there. You'll see. The source property of the form is where that would be updated. We'll see in a sec. So I'm going to go ahead and grab our star of the show, ScreenProgress, and it looks way different than what we've seen it before. It's kind of amazing how configurable this thing is. Not only do you have its parent object, progress, but you have each of the progress elements underneath it. You can modify all of these in any way you want, but what we're going to do is just delete some of these so that we can style them in a nice way. Let's see, I'm going to call this prog1. What we'll do is we'll go into the main progress item here, and you can see there's a style. We're just going to change style to blocks. That way we can make them as small or as big as we want. I'm going to say that the block width is going to be 35, same as our height, and we'll say border radius is 20, so it's a nice little circle there. Inside the progress, we can just change step 1. We'll just change it to 1 and then remove the vertical offset, so the 1 is just sitting straight on there. Description 1 I'll remove because I don't think I need that right now. And we'll also just add a little bit of font weight to our caption. Where are we here? Bold. So that's a nice little bold 1 there. So it's really small. It doesn't stretch across. But if we copy and paste these, now we have 3 of them. So this one here can be our 2. We'll say caption 2. This one's 3, caption 3. Awesome. 1, 2, 3. Now, when we click these buttons, how can we change our form? Great question. If I go into the onSelect quick script of the progress, we can essentially ask ourselves the question, which one of these were clicked? Well, let's go to the screen that corresponds to that progress. So I'll say, we'll go in here. We have access to these parameters, old selection, new selection. We care about the new selection, what was just clicked. So I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to do a select case of our new selection. And the case that we have selected prog1, we're going to want to do something about that. Let's see. Let's first grab our form by aliasing it. Form source actually we'll do. And we'll say that that is equal to my parents dot form / source. Okay, so whatever the source is here. We can copy that and then just edit it. The form source is going to be pointed at those screens we were looking at. So 1, 2, or 3, depending on which one of the selects were selected. So prog1 will go screen 1, and then let's just copy and paste these ones and say prog2 screen 2, prog3 screen 3. Okay, so yes, the form source is changing, but we in the client don't know that yet. So we're going to have to send to the client so that we can have the most up-to-date information, and we'll send our form source. So I'll click out of that. We will see. Let's just see if that works as is. 1. Okay, cool. So this title is what was in screen 1, 2. This is screen 2, 3, screen 3. So that's kind of nice. It's just switching it. So here, I can really just type in, Lion King, and then that updates down here. This isn't magical. I have actually set this title box to correspond with the variable title we have on this pop main. So each one of these screens, it has text boxes that will be affecting variables on our parent screen here, pop main, the title, year, and is liked. So as we go through this process, say 1994, it is updating the variable, and then this label is reading that variable, and we can see it right there. So even when I move away from the screen, those things stay. Yes, I like the Lion King. Now that these 3 data points have been added in on our 3 different screens, well, my add process is complete, and I would probably click some button like submit or add, and then in the background I can take these variables and create a record out of it. So that's how that's done. If I want to do some sort of thing like the staging that we had in the work orders app, modifying this to make that happen isn't too hard. In this case, we're not dealing with a form. We're not trying to change a screen. We're trying to change the status of something. So my progress items would probably be named something different than 1, 2, and 3. It could be anything. We'll just say 1, 2, or 3. In here, when we go into our on select of the parent progress item, our new selection will just dictate something else. So instead of changing our form source, we might have some sort of other variable and that could be like 0 or something, and then we could just say variable is 1, variable is 2, variable is 3, and then sending that back. Now we've successfully changed a variable by clicking these different things. So in these different ways, we can modify different things in our app depending on how we want them to go. This is a really powerful object, and there are many other properties, that mainly visual things, that you can do to make these look and function however you'd like. Some notable ones are enabled, which if I make false, everything, it kind of changes color a little bit and won't be able to be clicked, and other things too. So yeah, that kind of does it for this one. I know it's a little bit of a longer one, but there's a lot to be covered with ScreenProgress, and there's a lot that you can do with it. So play around with it. If you have any questions about how it works or anything, we might have some other videos on it. So check out our other videos on our Appward YouTube channel. You can also go to appward.com and see the other apps that we have and get more information about what we're all about. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye-bye.